The youth want to talk about the issues they face with the trusted adults in their lives, even if these issues are difficult or awkward topics. I realized this several years ago when I taught the 15-year-old Sunday school class. I had a great group of kids who were very respectful and participated when I asked questions, but the problem I had was getting them engaged and excited about the lesson. There was one lesson I taught that they became very engaged in and very much excited about the conversation and the discussion that we had. Ironically, this was a lesson on the law of chastity. The lesson began, as these lessons usually do, with the kids all staring at the floor and awkwardly shuffling their feet. I told them about the law of chastity and why they should live it. And then I switched modes in the class and began having a discussion. The youth know what they're not supposed to do, but they need to know what is appropriate and what is okay. And when we opened up that discussion, they became very engaged in it because that's what they would like to know and understand. And so the youth want to talk to their parents and they want to talk to their church leaders about the issues they face. And today they face many challenging, confusing, and difficult issues. One of these issues is, what is the big deal about pornography? The big deal about pornography is the damaging effects of pornography. Pornography damages the brain, it damages the family, and it damages society. The way that it damages the brain is that it is very much like a drug. The same chemical reactions that happen in the brain when taking meth or cocaine occur when viewing pornography. There is an excessive release in the brain of dopamine. The difference between the reaction that occurs when taking meth and cocaine and when viewing pornography is that the reaction is much more powerful when viewing pornography. It's like a chemical bomb goes off in the brain. And in teens' brains, studies have shown that their reward pathways, which is what causes the release of the dopamine, are 2 to 4 times more powerful than those in adult brains, which means their brains are flooded with even more dopamine. And obviously, just like with meth and cocaine, pornography is addicting. And the reason it's addicting is because when the brain gets flooded with this dopamine, it tries to go back to normal levels. And it does this by shrinking the dopamine receptors. And when the dopamine receptors are shrunk, then less dopamine is being released each time it's activated. And so the individual needs more and more reactions with dopamine being released to feel normal. And so they crave more and more pornography. Elder Dallin H. Oakes said, "It impairs decision-making capacities and it hooks users, drawing them obsessively back for more and more." A man who is addicted to pornography and to hard drugs wrote to me of this comparison. "In my eyes, cocaine doesn't even hold a candle to this. I have done both. Quitting even the hardest drug was nothing compared to trying to quit pornography." Pornography physically changes the brain by rewiring the chemical and neural pathways of the brain, making new connections. On fightthenewdrug.org website, they described it this way: "Neurons that fire together wire together." And studies have shown that in the brains of those who are addicted to drugs, and those who are viewing pornography, the frontal lobes of the brain shrink. Pornography damages the family. It is difficult for individuals who are viewing pornography to form meaningful relationships with real people. M.A. Layden said in a paper entitled "Pornography and Violence," which was in a journal on the social problems of pornography, "Healthy relationships are built on equality, honesty, respect, and love. But in porn, it's the reverse. Interactions are based on domination, disrespect, abuse, violence, and detachment. Viewing pornography results in a loss of the spirit." Elder Dallin H. Oakes said, "When we worthily partake of the sacrament, we are promised that we will always have His Spirit to be with us. To qualify for that promise, we covenant that we will always remember Him. Those who seek out and use pornography for sexual stimulation obviously violate that covenant. They also violate a sacred covenant to refrain from unholy and impure practices. They cannot have the Spirit of the Lord to be with them." I know personally of the damaging effects of pornography on families. My sister married a really sharp returned missionary in the temple. They had 4 beautiful daughters. He was a really awesome dad. They had lots of fun together, and with him, everything was awesome. and everything was an adventure. And they were the cutest little family. Then he started using pornography, and he became very addicted, and he kept getting into harder and harder pornography. It changed his personality, and it changed his behavior. He became very abusive to my sister until she finally left the marriage and divorced him. After she left, her two oldest daughters told her that their dad had been sexually abusing them and had threatened to kill their mother if they told. That was 12 years ago. The girls have not seen him since the parents divorced, but even as adults, they still have emotional and health issues because of the abuse that occurred in their home because of their father's addiction to pornography. Pornography damages society. It objectifies women, and it promotes violence towards women. And when women view pornography websites and see these abusive, violent relationships, they begin to believe that this is normal. And this is the way that relationships should be. Two of the side effects that occur in individuals who view pornography are that they have a lower material success in life and that they have a change in their belief system. Both of these have negative impacts on society. Now that you know the damaging effects of pornography on the brain, the family, and society, you need to become involved. You need to get educated, and you need to talk to your children. 80% of first-time exposures are in the home between the ages of 4 and 11. Pornography loses its allure when it's talked about openly. It thrives in secrecy. Some great resources that you can go to learn more about pornography and to learn how to talk to your children about pornography are the church's website, overcomingpornography.org. They also have a manual, a parent's guide to help parents know how to teach their children about healthy sexual relationships. And then another fantastic website is fightthenewdrug.org. They talk about all of the different effects of pornography, and they have references at the bottom of each article that you can click on that will lead you to more articles, journals, and websites to learn even more. If you are addicted to pornography, you need to get help. You cannot overcome this on your own. You need to go through the repentance process and use the atonement to overcome your pornography addiction. How many days does it take to overcome an addiction? It takes 2 years. We all need to get involved, and we need to warn others about the damaging effects of pornography.